Whoa, did you know there's a new Powerpuff Girls with the original creator? And Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends? I remember that. Whoa, they brought back Rugrats too? I remember that. Avatar has a whole studio making movies and TV shows? Sweet, I remember that. And SpongeBob, I remember that even though it never ended. And Total Drama, twice. And Beavis and Butthead. And the Proud Family. And Johnny Test. And Spider-Man. And Future. And DuckTales. And We Bear Band. Are they still doing great jokes? I remember that. Give in to nostalgia. I know a lot of time you just hear my disembodied voice talking into a void, but I'm a real human being, and I gotta take care of my beautiful, real human face. Which is why I'm glad the homies at Geology sent me incredible skincare products that have revolutionized my daily routine. All you gotta do is take a 30-second quiz, and they hook you up with a product set designed for your needs. Whether if you're trying to fight acne, reduce oiliness, or prevent wrinkles, Geology has you covered. This daily trial set only asks for a minute in the morning and a minute before bed to level up your daily routine. They sent me the Everyday Face Wash, Vital Morning Face Cream, Repairing Night Cream, and Nourishing Eye Cream. This is $50 worth of high-quality products for just $15. The value is insane. My favorite's gotta be the award-winning eye cream. It's a huge help for a job like this, where you spend so much time staring at a screen. The perfect remedy to combat dark circles and puffy eyes. And people will notice the results. After the 30 days, if you're happy with results, you can continue with a 90-day supply or go a la carte. You have the control to do whatever works for you. Geology has top-notch customer service with over 5,000 5-star customer reviews. You shouldn't pass up on this, man. Head to geology.com or click the link below to take their free skincare quiz and save up to 50% off on your 30-day trial. Join their new Geology Galaxy community on Discord for daily tips, giveaways, and more. That's discord.gg/geology. Thanks to Geology for sponsoring this video. It's no secret that entertainment has felt a little creatively bankrupt over the last few years. Rebooting and reviving old properties has become the norm, especially for animation. And it's gotten to a point where you can't really ignore it. It feels like most animated projects nowadays, at least the ones that garner the most attention, are some new version of a beloved series people grew up with. Whether it be from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, or even 2010s. Whether if it's a reimagining that builds a new world from the ground up, a continuation that's business as usual, or a product that's somewhere in between. With this practice now being commonplace, it's kinda interesting to witness the polarizing reactions on the internet. It seems like the majority now treats any return as a monkey's paw, which is ironic, because in the 2010s, it felt like everyone was begging for networks to bring back the old shows. Our childhood was better.
Kids these days don't know what they're missing out on.
The typical nostalgia spiel. Yeah, how'd that work out for ya? But love it or hate it, reboots and revivals aren't gonna slow down. It's only gonna get bigger from here. And the truth is, the problem has nothing to do with creative bankruptcy. It's all about competition and operating like a business. Why does your childhood keep getting rebooted? I'm gonna break down why. Let's keep it a buck and start with the obvious answer. Alright, well, besides that. 3 words. Attention over everything. Back in the day, a network could rely on good marketing to get everyone hyped up for a new show. But in an era of streaming where everyone hates watching ads, it's not so easy to pull off. Especially with animation. Reboots, however, are a different story. Always have been. Even as a kid, I'd notice when an old show got a makeover and presented itself as something new. The countless Scooby-Doo reboots that stood out from one another. Thundercats getting the Avatar treatment, Looney Tunes going for a few iterations. There was an appeal because it's familiar. I didn't even watch the OG Thundercats growing up, but because there'd be references to it here and there in pop culture, pop culture, I wanted to check out the 2011 series, and then it died a horrible death. Still, having notoriety to your brand will get you way more attention than being the new kid on the block. Attention is currency, and that's why even bad publicity is good publicity. The Powerpuff Girls and Ben 10 reboots were torn to shreds by the internet, but because of that heat, they got way more exposure than they would have as an original show. And hey, views don't lie. Just observing individual clips, it seems like kids had way more eyes on these reboots than some of the other shows around at the time. Though, at least for Powerpuff, you can tell Cartoon Network genuinely wanted it to be a success for the new generation, given how hard they went with the marketing back in the day. The reboot itself was just mid. I don't think it was given the resources or time it deserved to be a good show. But now, reboots and new entries in the franchise are more than just a quick buck. They're entire attractions to a streaming service. Companies have to put their best foot forward to convince consumers that those spare $15 in their pocket should go here instead of there. And what better way to do that than to flaunt someone's childhood memories for a new audience? When most people see Paramount Plus, they think about the new iCarly seasons, or the highly shat on Nickelodeon reboots. Hell, once Avatar Studio rolls out, I think Paramount will see a surge of subscriptions solely for new animated Avatar goodness. One of the early heavy hitters for HBO Max was Adventure Time Distant Lands. And although Close Enough was an original property, RIP, a lot of interest in it came from the idea that it be adult regular show. Hell, Disney Plus has always operated off this line of thinking. When it launched, sure, there was a lot of hype for the MCU shows, but people were really eager to get their hands on the final season of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder, is one of the few non-Marvel, non-Star Wars shows that they're giving a big push. And even now, one of their most highly anticipated shows is X-Men 97. Funny enough, Disney has also shown why this is easier to pull off with animation than live action. The medium of animation allows franchises to either pick things up where they left off in a near seamless fashion, or start over with a fresh interpretation. However, no one's gonna go crazy for the cheaper by the dozen remake, and creating new live action stories in the Star Wars universe with the same characters in their relatively same ages, with actors who are of course decades older than they were when they first played those characters, has led to a lot of viewers criticizing the uncanny valley effect that goes into trying to keep these characters the same age that they were back in the 80s or 2000s. And they're clearly afraid to recast, partly because they don't want to scare people off with new actors. For a myriad of reasons, rebooting a live-action television series can be arguably way more challenging to pull off than rebooting an animated series. Movies are easier to pull off, but I mean, people hate most Hollywood reboots anyways. When it comes to cartoons though, I think there's a reason you only see certain shows get rebooted. After all, despite Powerpuff Girls and Fosters having new shows in development, the studio flat out rejected ideas like Galacticus Next Door or Billy and Mandy Destroy Us All, with the dumb reasoning,
Kids today won't know who those characters are.
as if that wouldn't apply to the other shows you're rebooting from the exact same era of Cartoon Network. Why do some classics pass the vibe check while others don't? Well, it's not just about the shows themselves. I don't think it's a big secret that merch can be a huge source of income.
These are horrible.
There's a reason why every other YouTuber you watch tends to have a big push with merch every so often. Please check out our dope cartoon-inspired designs at Toondrip, by the way. But this especially rings true with corporations. We all know Marvel characters get a new suit every movie so they can sell Funko Pops off of it. But do you know why Teen Titans Go is on its 7th season with a spin-off on the way? Because it's making millions in toys, tees, and DVDs. That's not even counting the movies. The Ben 10 franchise is worth over $7 billion. That reboot everyone was dunking on didn't do crazy numbers in viewership, but its existence was keeping the lights on at Cartoon Network, thanks to the toys. And that's why Ben 10 is inevitably gonna be rebooted again, because they got money to make. At a net worth of $2.5 billion, the Powerpuff Girls has always sold well. which is why it got an anime, 2 reboots, and a CW show that refuses to die. But why would it? Not only can they still sell merch to kids, but once that CW show is out, you can bet Spirit Halloween will be littered with officially licensed Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup costumes for college girls to rock at parties. The show premiered in '98, and not even 2 years later, it was projected to make $300 million in merch. By 2002, it made nearly $1 billion. I can't find how much money Foster's made, but between Cartoon Network shoving cheese down our throats and the fact they had a Macy's Day Parade float where Foster's Rick-rolled America, I'm guessing it was pretty profitable. He-Man and She-Ra were conceptualized to be toyetic franchises. So of course, they've gotten numerous reboots over the years and will probably continue to do so. If there's plenty of opportunities for merch and it's a proven moneymaker, it's not gonna stay dead for long. It's unfortunate as these projects take slots that could have gone to new ideas. But until something changes, it is what it is. Entertainment is a business after all. And the big shots operate off of working smarter, not harder. Which goes into the last point I wanna make. Yeah, it's just easier to go with something that's already proven itself to be a smash hit than it is to roll the dice on an original idea. You already have a cast of characters to pull from, a pre-established world for said characters to adventure in, and lore for the writers to revisit and even expand upon in new ways. Don't get me wrong, a lot of work still goes into a reboot. Figuring out the art direction, casting, setting itself apart from the original series, and a slew of other tasks that would exist in any other production. Not to mention, reboots tend to have way more cooks in the kitchen. Execs want to be a lot more hands-on because of a show's esteemed legacy. To them, these ain't just cartoons they're making. These are billion-dollar properties that, ideally, will help keep them afloat for a few years. Now, of course, I think the main problem people like you and I have with these reboots is that as more teenagers and kids stop watching TV in favor of streaming, YouTube, and Twitch, the more these reboots tend to cater to younger and younger audiences. Really young children whose parents just stuck them in front of the TV, or an iPad with YouTube Kids. Again, those reboot clips don't get millions of views for nothing. Like I was turned when I heard back Craigie's bringing back Foster's. Until I read it was a preschool reboot. Not saying it's gonna be bad, but even with nostalgic value, it's just not gonna be for me. And that's okay. Not every reboot is gonna knock it out of the park with things that old and new fans can enjoy, like DuckTales or Thundercats. Some are just gonna be goofy little tunes to pave the way for merch. And I'm not gonna say that's a good thing, but it's putting food on a lot of people's tables. Creatives who work in animation for a living, just trying to survive in this crazy game we call life. Reboots, I don't always respect you. In fact, I fear most of you. But your existence paves the way for some original ideas to be funded in the first place. So, I guess you're not all bad. But thank God Antonucci owns the creative rights to Edda and Eddie. Can't reboot that shit if you tried. Thanks for watching the video. I always love doing little dives like this into the industry. And with the Powerpuff Girls and Fosters coming back, I knew I had to make a video and say something, so I hope you learned a thing or two. As always, if you enjoyed, please throw it a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at AustrickVox, and you can follow the channel at Roundtable Vids. Alright, enough plugging. Talk to you guys later.